Hey guys and gals, here we are today on Tuesday, February 6th. Let's just jump right in. All right, we got ourselves pretty good basketball slate. Here are the three that I like the most. We like Indiana at home, 7.5 points against Houston. They already beat Houston this year. Houston's bad on the road, and Indiana's pretty good at home, so I like Indiana to actually whoop them pretty good. Another good one is the over on that one because Indiana scores so many points, but I'm just going to take Indiana to win and cover. Next up, we're going to keep it super simple. Minnesota -5.5 against Chicago. Minnesota, way better. Chicago, not so great. Love this one just because of the differences in the talent between those two teams. So I'm going with Minnesota just for that reason. Next one I like of the over-under is the over on the Utah and Oklahoma City game, which is 241.5. They played twice this year, and they're averaging 255 points in those games, so I don't expect them to drop off, and even if they do, there's still a 14-point buffer to get there. So I like the chances of those two hitting that over yet again. All right, let's throw it over to Todd and see what he's got for today.
Yo, Todd here. I was 2 for 3 yesterday. Made some money. My friends in Vegas were right. It's going to be a big week. Joel and I, Gambling Hub, are going to make you some money. Today, all college basketball. All college basketball. Okay. Let's see. St. John's over to Paul -21.5. I'm going to buy 3 on each. And I'm going to go single bets and a 3-team parlay, both ways. Houston in college over Oklahoma State, -20.5. And St. Mary's over Pacific, -21.5. Buy 3 points on each of them. That's -18.5 on St. Mary's. That's -17.5 on Houston. And -21.5 on St. John's -3 is -18.5. You can bet them. I think one of the 3 is not going to cover their exact spread. So let's make it happen. 2 for 3 yesterday. I'm going to go at least 2 for 3 today. Make it happen. All of us. It's Super Bowl. Hey, subscribe and like. Joel, Todd, Gamblers Hub. Yeah.
Thanks, Todd. We have got ourselves a huge college basketball slate today. Not weekend huge, but Tuesday huge. All right, so we're going to hit these up. I got 10 picks for you guys. First off, we got South Carolina at home against Ole Miss. 3.5 points. Looks pretty good. They have a 5-game hot streak, winning against good opponents. And they've only lost 1 time at home all season. So they got the home court advantage going on there. Ole Miss, they have lost 3 out of 4 of their last games on the road. So I think those two things combined equals a South Carolina win. Next up, we got UNC coming off that big statement win against Duke. They're 6.5 point favorites against Clemson, who is way better at the beginning of the season, but they've been fading lately. They beat them by 10 at Clemson earlier in this year, and now they get to play at Chapel Hill. So you got to like the chances of those Tar Heels at home. Next up, we are going to go to Houston, who just flopped against Kansas on Saturday. I was surprised to see that, but it happens. But now they get to host Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma State is the last place team in the Big 12. They are not very good. It's at Houston. I think Houston just takes out the whooping stick on them and just beats out all the frustration that they had from that loss against Kansas and covers at 20.5 points. That's a pretty big number, but I think they can still do it. Next up, we're sticking with home teams. Miami of Ohio, 5.5 point favorites against Northern Illinois. Miami's just an average team. They're 500, but Northern Illinois is bad. They're 7-14. They've lost 12 of their last 14, and they are 1-8 in the conference. That does not bode well on the road. Miami of Ohio is only 5.5 points. Again, that's not very much. And these 5.5 point games, these are another ones you might want to tease down, combine them together, and do some money line situations. Next up, home team Bowling Green, 12.5 points though, because they're playing Buffalo. Buffalo, so bad. Buffalo is 2-19, 1-8 on the in the conference. Well, as Bowling Green, they're a pretty decent team. They're 15-7, so 2 wins for every loss. But the play here is for Buffalo. They're just so bad. And on the road, yeah, Bowling Green, 12.5 points. Let's take it. Next up, we're going to do a road team and an underdog. Butler. Too many points here. Too many points. 15.5 point dog against UConn, who is the best team in the country, for sure. No doubt. They're a great team, but Butler's a good team. And I think that the great team versus a good team equals like a 8-point win for UConn. It is in UConn, and so I'm not going to be silly enough to say that Butler's going to win the game, but 15.5 points is a lot. I like that one just for them to cover. Next up is another road team is Kentucky, 9.5 point favorites against Vandy. They're just bad. Again, they have lost big lately. Their losses are substantial. They're not just, getting unlucky. They're getting whooped on. In Kentucky, they need a statement win here as well. They've had some ups and downs and losing to some good opponents, but this one they should win, and they should win handily. All right, next up is one of my favorite teams this year is Utah State. They're home against Nevada, 5.5 point favorites. Utah State 19-3. They are a good team. They're going to make some waves in March, I believe. While as Nevada, 3 big road losses in a row, just substantial. So Utah State at home, 5.5 points. Hey, there's that number again. And I think they should be able to cover it, at least win. Speaking of 5.5 points, this one we're going to go in the other direction because Boise State is a 5.5 dog against CSU. They beat CSU earlier in the year, and they have basically the same record. I think this is an even matchup, and it comes down to the wire. It's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to go up that high. I might tease that one up to like 8.5 or something like that, just to give myself a little bit of a buffer zone, but I think Boise State takes that one, at least to cover the 5.5 points. Will they win? Who cares? And last, this is my favorite pick. And it's kind of funny because I was looking at when I was looking at all the games, I couldn't believe the numbers that I was looking at. And this game is St. Mary's. They're on the road, but they're playing the University of Pacific. They're 21.5 point favorites. But St. Mary's has won 10 in a row. That's all great. Pacific has lost 9 in a row. That's sort of to be expected, I suppose. They're 6-18 and they're 0-9 in the conference. But here's the thing: is they played earlier in the season at St. Mary's, and St. Mary's won 76-28. They won by almost 50 points, and they only allowed 28 points. This is what's known as a mismatch at 21.5 points. I'm not even sweating that one at all. St. Mary's is going to whip them up tonight. So make sure this is in any of your parlays or just straight bets. That's a good one. All right, guys, happy betting. We will see you tomorrow.